The living room buzzed with laughter and conversation. Glasses clinked, music played softly in the background, and our closest friends mingled around the appetizer table I'd spent all afternoon preparing. It was supposed to be a celebration, our 10th anniversary party, though we'd decided to keep it casual, just inviting friends over for drinks and food. I stood near the kitchen, refilling the ice bucket, when I heard Sarah's voice cut through the noise like a knife. Everyone, I have an announcement. My wife stood on the third step of our staircase, wine glass raised high, her cheeks flushed. I thought maybe she was going to make a toast. We'd been distant lately, I knew that, but I'd attributed it to work stress. She'd been putting in long hours at the marketing firm, often coming home late, sometimes not until after I was asleep. The room fell silent. 20 pairs of eyes turned toward her, then briefly flickered to me. I just want everyone to know the truth. Sarah's words slurred slightly. She'd been drinking since before guests arrived. Yes, we're sleeping together. Marcus from the office, he's better at everything than my husband here. Better conversation, better in bed, just better, and I'm tired of pretending. The silence that followed was deafening. Someone's phone clattered to the floor. Jennifer, Sarah's best friend, gasped audibly. I stood frozen, the ice bucket growing heavy in my hands, water dripping onto my shoes. Sarah pointed at me, still on her perch. There he is, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Boring, always so calm, so predictable. Well, guess what, David? I found someone who actually makes me feel something, someone exciting. So everyone can stop pretending we're this happy couple, okay? Now leave. I looked around at our friends, people we'd known for years. Some couldn't meet my eyes. Others stared at Sarah in shock. Tom, my college roommate, started to move toward me, but I held up my hand. It's fine, I said quietly, setting down the ice bucket with careful precision. My voice sounded strange to my own ears, detached, like I was listening to someone else speak. I'll go, David. Wait, Jennifer started, but I was already moving. I walked through the living room, past the shocked faces, past the food I'd prepared, past the anniversary banner Sarah had hung just this morning. Had she planned this? Had she wanted this public humiliation? In our bedroom, I grabbed my gym bag from the closet and threw in some clothes, enough for a few days. My hands moved mechanically, underwear, socks, shirts, pants, toiletries. I could hear raised voices downstairs now, but they seemed far away, muffled. My phone was on the nightstand. I pocketed it without looking at the screen, though I could see notifications already lighting up. The word was spreading fast. 3 minutes. That's all it took to pack up a small piece of my life. 10 years of marriage, reduced to whatever could fit in a gym bag in 3 minutes. I came back downstairs. The party had fractured into small clusters of people speaking in urgent whispers. Sarah stood in the center of the living room now, arms crossed, defiant. When she saw me, something flickered across her face. Was it regret? Doubt? But then her jaw set, and the mask returned. "Where are you going?" she demanded, as if she had any right to know. "Away," I said simply, just like that. "You're not even going to fight for us?" I looked at her, really looked at her, and wondered when I'd stopped recognizing the person I married. "There's nothing left to fight for, Sarah. You made that clear." Tom followed me out to my car. "You can stay with me and Lisa. Guest room's yours as long as you need it." I nodded, unable to speak past the tightness in my throat. As I drove away, I saw people streaming out of our house. Our anniversary party had lasted less than an hour. My phone buzzed incessantly on the passenger seat, but I didn't look. The street blurred slightly, and I realized my eyes were wet. Tomorrow, I'd deal with everything. Tonight, I just needed to get through the next minute, then the next, then the next. I woke up on Tom's couch to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. My neck ached from the awkward angle I'd slept in, and for one blissful second, I forgot why I was there. Then it all came crashing back. The phone buzzed again. "Sarah." I declined the call. Tom emerged from the kitchen with 2 mugs of coffee. "Lisa's at her sister's. Figured you might want space." He handed me a mug. "You want to talk about it?" "Not yet." He nodded, settling into the armchair across from me. "Jennifer's been texting Lisa all night. Apparently things got ugly after you left." Despite myself, I was curious. "How ugly?" "Well, once you were gone, people started leaving. Some of them told Sarah exactly what they thought of what she did. Jennifer practically dragged Marcus, he was there the whole time, into the spotlight and asked him what his plans were now that everything was out in the open. I set down my coffee. Marcus was at the party, standing right there in the corner the whole time. Apparently he went pale as a ghost when Sarah made her announcement. Jennifer said he looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. My phone lit up again. Another call from Sarah. Then a text, "We need to talk. Please, have you looked at your messages?" Tom asked carefully. I scrolled through them. Most were from friends expressing shock and support. A few from my parents. Sarah must have called them. 3 from my brother Jake. "Just heard. I'm driving up tomorrow. Seriously bro, call me. I'm bringing a lawyer friend." Then I saw the messages from unknown numbers, screenshots, social media posts. Someone had recorded Sarah's announcement and posted it online. My stomach turned. "It's everywhere, isn't it?" I asked. Tom grimaced. "Pretty much. But David, people are on your side. Every comment I've seen is calling her out for the public humiliation." I didn't care about sides. I just felt hollow. My phone rang again. This time it was Jennifer. I answered. "David, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea." "I know, Jen. She's losing it. She's been calling everyone, crying, saying it wasn't supposed to go like this." Marcus blocked her number. That made me look up. "What, Marcus?" "He's gone radio silent. Won't answer her calls, blocked her on everything. She showed up at his apartment this morning, and he wouldn't open the door. Just yelled through it that he never signed up for this, that she'd made it public and messy, and he wanted nothing to do with it. I should have felt satisfaction. Instead, I felt nothing." "Okay, David, she's asking where you are. She wants to explain." I told her I didn't know, but don't tell her, Jen. Please, I won't. "But, are you okay?" "Stupid question, I know, but I'm at Tom's. I'm okay. Or I will be." After I hung up, Tom leaned forward. "My buddy Steve is a divorce lawyer, one of the best. I already texted him. He can see you Monday morning if you want." Monday. It was Saturday now. I'd been married Friday morning. By Monday, I'd be starting divorce proceedings. "Yeah," I said. "Set it up." The rest of the day passed in a strange fog. I drove to our house when I knew Sarah would be at work, or at least, I hoped she'd be at work. The house was a disaster. Plates and glasses everywhere, food congealing on tables. The anniversary banner hung crooked, mocking. I packed methodically this time. Clothes, documents, laptop, photos of my parents and siblings, my grandfather's watch. I left the wedding photos on the wall. Let her deal with them. In my office, I found the stack of bills and financial statements I'd been managing. I photographed everything. If Jake's lawyer friend was even half decent, they'd need documentation. My phone buzzed. Another text from Sarah. "I saw your car. I'm coming home. Please wait." I grabbed the last box and left. By Sunday evening, I'd moved everything important to a storage unit Tom had helped me rent. I'd opened a new bank account at a different bank and transferred my portion of our savings. I'd changed my passwords on everything. I'd sent a brief email to my boss explaining I might need some personal days the following week. Jake arrived Sunday night with Chinese food and his friend Daniel. "The lawyer, tell me everything," Daniel said, pulling out a yellow legal pad. So I did. 10 years of marriage, the growing distance, the late nights she'd explained away, the party, the announcement, the affair, any proof of the affair besides her public announcement. Daniel asked. "There's a video. It's all over social media." Daniel smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "That's perfect. That's documentation of admission. In a case like this, especially with public humiliation involved, we can move fast. How do you want to play this?" I looked at him. "I want it done. Clean, fair, but done. I don't want to drag it out." "All right. I'll file tomorrow. She'll be served by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest." That night, lying in Tom's guest room, I finally let myself feel it. The anger, the betrayal, the humiliation. I cried for the first time since leaving, not for Sarah, but for the person I'd been 2 days ago. The one who'd thought he had a solid marriage, who'd been preparing appetizers while his wife prepared to destroy their lives. My phone lit up one more time. "Sarah, please. I made a mistake. We can fix this. I blocked her number and finally fell asleep. The divorce papers were served on Wednesday afternoon while Sarah was at work. I know because Jennifer called me immediately after Sarah called her, hysterical. She didn't think you'd actually do it, Jennifer said, her voice tight. She thought you'd cool off and come back so you could work on things. I was sitting in Daniel's office, going over the asset division. There's nothing to work on, Jen, I know. Trust me, I know. But David, she's unraveling. She got fired. That made me look up from the papers. What? Marcus reported her to HR, said she'd been harassing him, showing up at his desk, calling him constantly. Then someone sent the video to their boss. The company's calling it unprofessional conduct, bringing the company into disrepute. They let them both go. Daniel glanced at me, then made a note on his pad. I'm not saying you should care. Jennifer continued quickly. I just thought you should know. She's alone in that house, no job, no Marcus, losing friends left and right. People are choosing sides, and David, no one's choosing hers. After I hung up, Daniel set down his pen. This actually helps us. She's unemployed, you're still working, and her affair is documented. We can push for a faster settlement. Most judges won't have much sympathy for her position. I don't want to destroy her, I said. I just want out. I understand. But you deserve a fair shake here. She blew up your life publicly. We make sure you land on your feet. That evening, Tom convinced me to come out for dinner with him and Lisa. You've been holed up for days. You need to get out, see people. The restaurant was busy, warm, normal. We just ordered when I saw her. Sarah sat 3 tables away with someone I didn't recognize, another woman. Maybe a co-worker or former co-worker now. Sarah looked terrible. Her hair was unwashed, dark circles under her eyes, wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. The woman across from her was talking urgently, but Sarah just stared at her wine glass. Then she saw me. Our eyes met across the restaurant, and I watched something crack in her expression. She stood up so quickly her chair scraped loud against the floor. People turned to look. David, please, Sarah, don't, Lisa said firmly, standing up like a barrier between us. I just need to talk to him. Please, David. 5 minutes. Every eye in the restaurant was on us. I could see phones coming out. Not again. Outside, I said quietly. 5 minutes. We stood in the parking lot. Cold November air biting through my jacket. Sarah wrapped her arms around herself, shivering. I'm sorry, she said, and started crying. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I was drunk and stupid and angry, and I ruined everything. Why were you angry? I asked. It was the first question I'd actually wanted answered. Because, she wiped at her face. Because you were so good, so steady and reliable and kind, and I felt like I was drowning in how perfect you were. Marcus paid attention to me, made me feel exciting and spontaneous, and I convinced myself that meant something. So you humiliated me in front of everyone we know. I wanted you to react, to fight, to yell, to show me you actually cared. But you just left. You always just stay calm and leave. I stared at her. You wanted me to fight for you. After you announced your affair to a room full of people? I know it doesn't make sense, Sarah. It doesn't matter now. We're done. No, we can fix this. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. I don't want to fix it. I don't want to be married to someone who would do that to me. Who would think that was somehow an acceptable way to communicate? She grabbed my arm. Please, I lost my job. I lost Marcus. I'm losing all our friends. I can't lose you too. I gently removed her hand. You already did. You lost me the moment you stood on those stairs. I made one mistake. You made 100 mistakes leading up to that one moment. The affair wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Every time you slept with him, every lie you told, every time you came home late, those were all choices. The party was just the only honest thing you'd done in months. She was sobbing now, and part of me, some old, buried part, wanted to comfort her. But that wasn't my job anymore. Sign the papers, Sarah. Let's both move on. I don't want to move on. I want my husband back. Then you shouldn't have thrown him away in front of everyone he knows. I walked back inside, my hands shaking. Tom and Lisa were waiting by the table, our food boxed up. Let's go, Tom said in the car. I finally let out the breath I'd been holding. She looks terrible. She should, Lisa said sharply. What she did was cruel, David. Don't let her make you feel guilty for having boundaries. That night, I lay awake thinking about what Sarah had said. She'd wanted me to react, to fight. But fighting for what? For a marriage where she'd been sleeping with someone else. For someone who respected me so little she'd announce it like entertainment. My phone buzzed. A text from my mom. Your father and I support whatever you decide. We love you. Another from Jake. Proud of you, little brother. Takes strength to walk away. One from Jennifer. She called me crying for 2 hours. I finally told her that real remorse comes before consequences, not after. You're doing the right thing. I realized something then. For years, I'd equated keeping calm with being passive. But walking away from that party, from Sarah, from the marriage, from the humiliation, that wasn't passive. That was choosing myself. That was the fight, just not the kind Sarah had wanted. I typed out a message to Daniel. Whatever settlement you think is fair, let's do it. I want this done by the new year. His response came quickly. You got it. We'll push hard. I finally felt like I could sleep. Thanksgiving came 3 weeks after the party. I spent it with my parents and Jake, helping my mom in the kitchen while my dad and brother watched football. It felt surreal. The same time last year, Sarah and I had hosted Thanksgiving at our place, spent 2 days cooking together, laughing over the turkey that had been too dry. You're quiet, my mom said, handing me vegetables to chop. Just thinking about her, about how different everything is. I set down the knife. Mom, did you know that we were having problems? She paused, considering. I knew you weren't happy, neither of you. But I thought you were just in a rough patch. Every marriage has them. This wasn't a rough patch. No, she agreed softly. This was something else entirely. My phone buzzed. Jennifer, Sarah's parents took her back to their place in Ohio. Thought you should know she's out of town. Good. The house was almost sold anyway. Daniel had pushed hard, and Sarah's lawyer had advised her to accept the terms. We'd split most assets 50-50, but I'd kept my 401k, and she'd taken the hit on the house sale. She couldn't afford it without a job anyway. David, Jake called from the living room. Come here. You need to see this. On his laptop was an article in our local online paper. When oversharing goes wrong. Local woman's anniversary party confession goes viral. I felt sick. They wrote about it. It's already got 3,000 shares. But David read it. They're not on her side. The article detailed what had happened. No names. But anyone local would know who it was about. It discussed public humiliation in the age of social media, consequences of infidelity, and included quotes from relationship experts about healthy communication. The comments section was overwhelmingly supportive of the humiliated spouse. I don't want to be a news story, I said quietly. You're not. You're the anonymous person who kept his dignity. She's the cautionary tale. After Thanksgiving, I started therapy. Dr. Patricia Chen was recommended by Daniel, who said she specialized in helping people process betrayal and rebuild. Tell me why you're here, she said in our first session. My wife announced her affair at our anniversary party and I left. Now we're getting divorced and everyone tells me I'm handling it well. But I don't feel like I'm handling anything at all. What does handling it well feel like to you? I don't know. Not waking up confused about where I am. Not checking my phone constantly to see if she's texted. Not feeling angry 1 minute and sad the next and numb after that. Dr. Chen smiled slightly. That's actually what handling it normally looks like. You're grieving, David. Not just the marriage, but the future you thought you'd have. The person you thought she was. The trust that's been broken. That's a lot to process. Over the next few weeks, I learned that I'd been performing calm rather than feeling it. I'd left the party quietly, not because I was handling it, but because I was shutting down. Now, in the safety of her office, I let myself feel everything I'd been suppressing. I was angry, furious at how Sarah had humiliated me. I was hurt that someone I'd loved for 10 years could be so cruel. I was embarrassed that everyone had witnessed my personal failure. I was relieved to be out of a marriage that had been dying for longer than I'd admitted. I was scared about starting over at 33. I was hopeful about what came next. All of those feelings can coexist, Dr. Chen said. You don't have to pick one. Christmas week, the divorce was finalized. Daniel called me at work with the news. It's done. Judge signed off this morning. You're officially divorced. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 20 minutes, unsure how to feel. Free, sad. Both Tom and Lisa threw me a divorce party that weekend, their humor-filled way of marking the occasion. It was small, just close friends and blessedly drama-free. No speeches, no toasts, just pizza and board games and laughter. To new beginnings, Tom said. Raising his beer. To new beginnings, we echoed. Jennifer pulled me aside later. I talked to Sarah yesterday. She's seeing someone in Ohio, apparently. Some guy her sister knows. Good for her. You mean that? I thought about it. Yeah, actually. I hope she figures out whatever she needs to figure out. I just don't need to be part of that process. You've really moved on. I'm moving, I corrected. I don't know if it's on yet, but it's somewhere other than where I was, the day after Christmas. I signed a lease on my own apartment. 1 bedroom, hardwood floors, a small balcony overlooking the park. It was mine, just mine, and that felt significant. Tom helped me move my stuff from storage. As we assembled furniture that afternoon, he said, "You know what's crazy? You seem lighter. Even with everything that happened, you seem more yourself than you have in years." He was right. I'd been so focused on being what I thought a good husband should be: stable, predictable, reliable, that I'd forgotten to just be David. The guy who liked hiking and trying new restaurants and staying up too late reading. The guy who had opinions and preferences and wasn't just accommodating everyone else's. That night, alone in my new apartment, I ordered Chinese food and ate it sitting on the floor because my dining table wasn't assembled yet. My phone buzzed with a text from my mom. "Proud of you, sweetheart." Another from Jake. "New year, new life. You got this." I looked around at the boxes still needing to be unpacked, at the blank walls waiting for art, at the empty shelves ready to be filled. For the first time in months, I smiled. I almost didn't recognize her. It was November again, a full year since the party, and I was at the grocery store, debating between 2 different pasta sauces, when I heard my name, David. Sarah stood at the end of the aisle, a shopping basket over her arm. She looked different, older, maybe, or just tired. Her hair was shorter, styled differently. She wore a simple sweater and jeans, no makeup. "Sarah." "Hi." We stood there in awkward silence, the fluorescent lights humming above us. Another shopper squeezed past us, muttering, "Excuse me. How are you?" She asked finally. "I'm good. Really good, actually. You?" "I'm okay. Better than I was." She shifted her weight. "I'm back in town. Got a job at a smaller firm. Starting over, I guess. That's good." "David." She stopped, started again. "I owe you an apology. A real one, not the desperate ones from last year. What I did was unforgivable. The way I did it was cruel. You deserved so much better than that." I set down the pasta sauce I'd been holding. "Thank you for saying that. I've been in therapy. A lot of therapy. Trying to understand why I sabotaged something good because it felt too stable. Why I equated drama with passion." She laughed, but it was hollow. "Turns out I had a lot to work through." "I've been in therapy too," I admitted. "It helps. You look happy," she said softly. "Really happy." I thought about the past year, the apartment I'd turned into a home, the promotion at work I'd earned by throwing myself into projects, the hiking group I'd joined where I'd met Anna, the environmental lawyer with the incredible laugh who I'd been seeing for 3 months, the relationships with friends and family I'd deepened, the person I'd become when I stopped trying to be what someone else needed. "I'm happy," I said. "It took work, but yeah, I'm good." Sarah nodded, her eyes glassy. "I'm glad. Really, you deserve that. So do you, Sarah. I hope you find it. Maybe someday." She adjusted her basket. "Well, I should, yeah. Take care of yourself, you too." I watched her walk away, disappearing around the corner into another aisle. I waited for the surge of anger or pain or something, but all I felt was a gentle sadness for who we'd been and a quiet gratitude for who I'd become. I grabbed the pasta sauce, the one I'd wanted all along, and headed to checkout. That evening, Anna came over for dinner. I'd made that pasta, and we ate on my balcony despite the cold, wrapped in blankets, watching the sunset. "You're quiet tonight," she observed. "Everything okay?" "I ran into my ex-wife today. At the store." "Oh." She set down her fork. "How was that?" "Surprisingly okay. We talked for a few minutes. She apologized. I wished her well, and then we both moved on. How do you feel about it? I thought about Dr. Chen's words about feeling multiple things at once. Grateful, mostly, for the distance, for the growth, for the perspective. That whole disaster was the worst thing that happened to me, and maybe the best thing, all at once. Anna reached over and squeezed my hand. I'm glad you found the good in it. That takes strength. Later, after she'd left, and I was cleaning up the kitchen, I thought about the party, that terrible, humiliating night that had blown up my life. If someone had told me then that I'd be here now, genuinely happy and excited about the future, I wouldn't have believed them. But here I was. My phone buzzed. A group text from Tom, Lisa, Jennifer, and a few others. 1 year ago today, the worst party ever. 1 year from now, you'll barely remember it. Proud of you, David. I smiled and typed back, already barely remember it. Dinner next week, my place. I'll actually cook this time. Tom, will there be drama? Me, only if you bring it. Lisa, we'll bring wine and good vibes. Jennifer, and maybe a fire extinguisher in case your cooking hasn't improved. I laughed, saving the text thread. Before bed, I stood on my balcony looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, Sarah was starting over too. Marcus was probably living his life, having learned his own lessons about consequences. The friends from that party had moved on to their own dramas and celebrations. The video of that night still existed somewhere on the internet, probably a digital record of the worst moment of my life. But it didn't define me. It was just a thing that had happened, a chapter that had ended, making room for everything that came after. I thought about the man I'd been a year ago, so focused on keeping the peace that he'd forgotten to ask if the peace was worth keeping, so afraid of conflict that he'd missed all the signs of a dying marriage, so invested in being good that he'd forgotten to ask if he was happy. That man was gone. In his place was someone stronger, wiser, more whole, someone who knew the difference between staying calm and shutting down, someone who understood that walking away from what hurts you isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself, someone who'd learned that the end of one story is just the beginning of another. My phone buzzed one more time. Anna, thanks for dinner. Thanks for being honest about today. Thanks for being you. Sweet dreams. I smiled and typed back, sweet dreams. See you this weekend. It's a date. I went inside, locked the balcony door, and got ready for bed. Tomorrow I had a meeting at work, coffee with Jake, and a therapy session where I'd probably talk about seeing Sarah and how fine I actually was with it. Tomorrow, and the day after, and all the days after that, the party was over. The real celebration, the one where I rebuilt my life on my own terms, was just beginning. And this time, I was writing my own story.